Good morning. I invite you to equally whole and uniquely perfect. Your authentic genius, greatness, and gifts. As I open mine, my authentic genius, to receive yours. We're authentic, whole, and complete. Perfectly imperfect genius. We belong together. In the words of serendipity, flow, and authentic. What was in your 30 minutes of silence? My intention is to help those who don't yet value the importance of silence.
What does serendipity mean?
So I went and looked it up, Hans, because I wanted to know the difference between serendipity and synchronicity.
Oh, okay.
And serendipity is just a lighter, more fun description because it's about continuously discovering treasures.
Hmm.
And it isn't rooted in Latin or Greek, apparently. It was introduced by an English nobleman who loved a Persian fairy tale.
Hmm.
You can Google it.
Well, Google would say a lot of words that I don't really understand anyway. I like an explanation like you gave it.
Well,
Reading is not my favorite thing.
oh,
I think I've read 8 books in my life.
hmm.
guess I'm way too present for reading, because every time I read a page and start on the next, oh, what did I just read on the page before?
It sounds like your explanation is correct. To me, it does. Jesse, when you were saying that your intention is to have others value the silence, what came to me then was that so many people have not been given an opportunity to experience silence in a way that they can allow themselves to receive it, even though it might be available all the time. So I thought that that could be an intention for me to facilitate that small introduction and small spark.
Thank you.
Because there's so much silence even in between the non-silence, right? In between the sound or the noise. And so you can connect one stream of vibration to the next, as Craig was saying, with connection and synthesizing in between. And when we think of our bodies, how much of our bodies are made up of water, as opposed to material, although water is a material. But for me, I always think that the water is there. It serves all the functions that it does, but it also serves as the mirror for the vibration to be experienced and to be heard. So we experience our body electric through the water, and we hear the sound current, which is the vibration of the body electric. And so when you tune into silence, you're enhancing your listening. And when you speak about being present, Heinz, as I talk now, I would translate that into that you're listening for what there is, as opposed to reading what's being presented either on a screen or a piece of paper.
Exactly. It's like what I read before. It just drifts away as I go on forward.
Mm.
The last book I read was Change Your Mind by R.J. Spinner.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way I could find a way to actually read it was reading it out loud to myself.
Mm-hmm. So your body reverberates more with sound than what it does visually.
Yep. I know what I read, but I can't put it together.
Mm.
Page 1 with page 2, and I have to hear the sounds or feel the vibration.
Mm.
Like having to fill the silence with something.
Mm-hmm.
And I can
Yeah,
really
Heinz, that's just a different kind of reading. It's more energetic,
okay.
like hearing. Yeah. Yeah. You're a deep listener. We already know that. So I'm just reminding you. So you ingest information in a unique way, a way that's unique to you. Yeah, and that's great.
See, that's a new perspective. I've always been told, oh, you're just a little slow. That's what they said in
No,
school. In school, you're just a little
no.
slow. But I was
Yeah.
way better when I got the book read for me. I could understand it then, but reading it myself, it was like it just drifted away.
Yeah. Because part of you is hearing and reading on a very deep level.
Thank you, Craig.
You
New
kind of soak
perspective.
it in and absorb it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Much better with what's it called? Audiobook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a superpower.
Whoa. Nice.
Because it's not only that you absorb it, Hand. For me, it's also about what you imbue into the space when you're with people. And I say imbue because imbue is like, for me, it's like ink in water. It colors everything.
The ink occupies the space between the water.
Mm-hmm. This was such a beautiful creation today, Jesse. Thank you so much.
So besides deep listening and deep hearing, Heinz, there's also a deep comprehension.
I rarely understand things with my mind. I have to feel it in my heart.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm.
And that's important to you to experience it that way,
Yep.
to comprehend with your heart. Yeah.
And it's your gift and your genius.
Mm.
And your greatness.
I'm so flattered now.
We all got it in some way or another.
That's why I really enjoy these talks, because we get to dive much deeper in that. It's way past your mind understanding it.
Mm.
It's something that needed to be felt deep within.
Mm. I'll bring a little bit of humor in. So Heinz, my oldest brother, I have three brothers. My oldest brother and myself were also very slow readers. And he said to me once, because I'd asked him if he'd read a book, which I thought he would really enjoy. And he said to me, Ali, I've decided I don't want to read books anymore. My life is way more interesting.
Someone going straight to the truth.
Yeah. It took him a long time to get to that point. I was so happy for him.
Because even in our silence here, we're really not in silence. My mind, my self-talk is talking. I think it's always talking. Unless I intentionally, purposefully guide it. Or said another way, rather than my head, is I listen to my heart. I change the order of the hierarchy of my conditioning, meaning how I've lived the most of my life as unaware of my self-talk, the voice of my heart, which it's not a voice, it's more a feeling. So it's a listening to the difference of the head talk and the heart talk as two different languages.
Linear. The heart talk just jumps around to different actions, different places, different times. The head talk is more beginning, middle, and end.
I give great gratitude for those who introduced me to my self-talk.
Mm. Mm.
And it was in a workshop, a learning session, a group, and the leaders, what they do is they go silent and don't move, don't change expressions for 60 seconds. So in this workshop, it's an open, other people, we all contribute, but for the most part, the leaders are engaging everyone. And you can imagine what would happen when they go silent, right in the middle of what they're saying. Stop.
in a group, I can imagine that creates a lot of different perspectives.
Mhm.
Like just starting an adventure. Once upon a time, there was.
Mm.
And we got 4 different adventures starting to be created. Hmm.
And in that silence, people realize we ask them to say, well, what were you thinking?
Mm.
What was your self-talk saying to you in that silence? We get all sorts of responses. Some people don't say a thing. They stay hidden like they have the whole workshop. But something is definitely going on still in their head. We, as a leader of that, we had built enough trust that they were willing to incur the 60-second cost of silence. Some people spoke up. I remember me, I spoke up. Are you froze? Is it mine? Right? Trying to figure it out, hanging on every word. But that wasn't the first thing that popped in my head. That was what my behavior that came out. And it's that self-talk and then the action. Ooh, between those 2 points. Mhm. Is the action or what we say or do is the highest communication. Reveals our pattern, reveals our tendency, reveals the structure, a structure. And if we look at it, we can say that that simple structure runs everything, or maybe at least 60% of it. You all know I like shortcuts.
You like efficiency too.
Mm,
Hmm.
It's a little bit more than a
yes.
shortcut.
Yeah, that's the truth of it. Meaning, I'll find one way to work with this 60% rather than all the other ways.
Mm.
I'll focus on the 60% rather on the 80 that makes up the 40. I'll focus on the one that makes the 60. Yeah, that's efficiency. To me, that's a shortcut. That's a simplicity that has the biggest bang, the best return from my view. And to do that goes against what is common, normal, expected. It's the other side, it's through it. And silence is one of the easiest ways to practice it. Someone asks you a question, don't answer for 60 seconds. See what they do. That's their structure. And I'll guarantee you they will want to be heard. They will want to be acknowledged. They'll want you to respond. Ooh.
Next question would probably be, did you hear what I was saying?
Yeah, just confirms their structure. And then what you'll notice is the charge that builds with it. So not only the words, but then the energy, the charge of it. For most, it'll be frustration building towards anger, maybe even threatening. Why? Because the underlying expectations and it's that difference between the expectation and that feeling, right? That charge that'll have people avoid the silence. Because it's not how it should go. And so if there's not like a group like us, we have trust. We expect it now, but someone new in the moments of silence will be so uncomfortable. Mostly they leave. So they're avoiding the silence, which is where all the opportunities exist. Unless you want to play the same thing over and over and over. So I've separated my charge from my self-talk. They both walk different paths. And in between them is where I can be, I can choose. And that to me is the power of silence. Because I said there was only two, right? Your head talk, your heart feeling, but then you've got your stomach, your gut.
Just came to me. So that's why they have elevator music. So you don't make your head talk about what can go wrong.
That is what the head likes to talk about. And
What
that
was that about?
invokes the guts, right? The stomach, the fears. Because it's, to me, the heart only speaks of love. So if it's not of love, then it's in you're listening to your head and your guts, your stomach. Our conditioning is that the efficiency between the head and the gut for safety, survival, and that we've been told not to listen to our heart. Which is where the authenticity lies, where the genius lies, where the greatness is, and where all of our gifts come from. In the silence, we can learn to tone them down. We can become aware of their voice, their urges, their tendencies, their demands. And begin to soften, quiet the dominating ones and give space and room for the ones that have been dominated.
Which are usually the creative ones.
It usually is for most. It's usually the heart, the joy, the love, the peace, the power, the passion. And everyone wants more of that in their life, they say. I don't know who couldn't use more of that. So the sounds within the silence.
Mm. I'm leaving for today. Thank you so much for the space in the silence, Jesse. Thank you, Heinz. Thank you, Craig. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Allison.
Allison. Bless you. So I really let my mind go in silence today. And it was just making up some really bizarre stories, like adventures. And first, when that started happening, I went, no, this can't be it. This can't be what I want here. But I just moved my small s self out of the way and just let it happen. And it's, yeah, it was beneficial. The child in me is learning to dream again.
Yeah, and there's no right way to do it. The best is to just be aware. Because the conditioning is different for everyone. But as society, as a population as a whole, we have tendencies. And so even in our head, when we say, oh, it can't be that, you today you didn't listen to it. You just said, oh, well, let's see what's there. Rather than listening to the constriction, listening to the limitation, you chose to expand it because you were aware of it. All of that going on in your head, and maybe not in anyone else's. Well, gentlemen, thank you for exploring the silence with me today.
Thank you for having an opportunity to be in it with you.
Yes, and with you.
Love and hugs to all.
Bye, Heinz.
Yeah,
Bye,
love and
Craig.
hugs. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great
Bye.
day.